This video may annoy some people, so I'll start with that trigger warning because myself as a technical analysis trader focused all on the charts, it truly does make me laugh a lot inside when I start to read the news reports of we are seeing a massive crash on the stock market because of DeepSeek, because of Chinese AI taking over. Oh my God, the world is going crazy and the markets are pulling back because of this reason. Whereas from a technical perspective, we have seen the fake outs of the highs, we've seen the swing failure patterns and foresaw drops coming before they happened. As I will always say, show me the charts and I will tell you the news. You start to get really bearish news come out when you're at the top of the range and you've just hit resistance. And when you drop down to support, guess what? There's going to be 101 different bullish news articles coming out. So the average citizen can understand, okay, so this is why the market's going up. Really, we come and we drop down to support. Oh, this is why the market's crashing. Well, we simply swing failure pattern to range high. We hit that liquidity. The bigger players filled their orders, and then it's time to pull back. Everything is in the charts. Some people will say I'm crazy. Some people will say that's not true. Guess what? Those people can continue to be late for the moves or simply miss out on them. While we, the traders, will take advantage ahead of the curve and make the profits while others are crying and weeping, to be honest with you. So, you know, if you're in these videos, you're here for the technical analysis, and that's what I'm going to be going through today. Bitcoin, taking a look at the stock market, as well as a little bit of Trump coin. Why not to wrap it up? So all of those, Trump, whether it's Trump coin, with the meme coins, Bitcoin, the biggest cryptocurrency in the world, or the stock market, right? The multi-trillion-dollar market, the biggest in the world. It all respects the technical analysis. And I'm not saying that news cannot accelerate and quicken up some of those moves. It absolutely does. I'm not that naive. Okay, I understand that it has an effect, the fundamentals. Of course I do. But everything first and foremost is in these charts. With that said, let's go into what we're talking about today. And we'll start off with Bitcoin. It has to be, right? My favorite of them all, Bitcoin. So really simply, we have a sideways range. We have been range bound since the middle of November. So for a fairly long time now, fair to say, we have been simply going sideways. Within this sideways range, we see continuously, you know, the perma bulls expecting, I don't know, 300, 400, Michael Saylor, $3 million Bitcoin, whatever, right? We've seen some crazy predictions. At the same time, to be fair, you've seen a lot of the perma bears. This is the top. It's down from here. Everything's going to crash. We're entering a recession every single year. I see someone saying a recession's coming, and guess what? It doesn't come. So, you know, it's just something to bear in mind. There's always these perma bears that talk about recession, that talk about the big crash. Don't buy now. It's going to drop. It's going to drop. It's going to drop. And you got the other spectrum. It's going up. Buy more. You know, mortgage your house. Go into debt. Put it all into Bitcoin. You know, very stark opinions. I don't think you should be the perma bear. I don't think you should be the perma bull. I think you should have a neutral perspective. Hey, when it drops to range low, look for those longs. When it gets to range high, look for those shorts. Trade the charts. Be like water, my friends. Adapt to the market. You don't ever see me saying perma bull, yeah, it's definitely going up, you know, go all in here. You never see me perma bear. I'm super bearish, right? This is definitely going down. You will see me looking for high probability trade setups. And that's how I've made the big money that I've made on these markets, because I have that ability. I have that way of viewing the charts, which is not drawn by emotions. Simply put, it's not drawn, and I'm not affected by other people's emotions, right? I can just view the chart, block out the noise, and trade the high probability trade setup. So let me just show you this really simple, really simple. We've been sideways now for a few months, right? What happened here? We simply swing failure pattern. And this is going to be a key vocal point of today, so make sure you fully understand it. Swing failure pattern of the range low. Major low, big wick, fill the wick. We come down, we fill that wick with a, as again, SFP, swing failure pattern. This is a bullish trade setup where you have your entry trigger, which I took. If you were inside of the Discord, I updated you when I took that trade. Okay, as soon as I took that trade, I gave it to the champion members. So that was a long trade entry based off of the swing failure pattern. We took the liquidity, and what happened next? We made our way all the way up very quickly to the other side of the range. What happened up here? We formed a fake out of the range high. So if we form a fake out of the range low for a long, when we form a fake out of that range high, what we're doing, we're taking the short. And again, I actually took that short live on stream. Okay, so there's no hindsight, there's no ifs or buts, but live on stream, I took the short at $106,000 as we came back into the range, and for me confirming that fake out. From a higher term time frame perspective though, it's pretty simple, right? If we fake out that range low, we come to the range high, we fake out that range high, we come back down. Simply trading that range till it breaks. This was a print screen or from the Champions live stream back on the 20th, so 8 days ago. Really simply recognizing we're at the range. And this was the very same stream where I took the short trade, by the way. Randomly trying, but you can see I'm explaining here, right? We've gone from the high to the low to the high. So why won't we go from the high to the low? And then later on in this stream, we were on a lower term time frame perspective, looking at a lower term time frame channel. Anyway, I took the short trade in that video. And you can see from that range high fake out, we have come back down to the middle of the channel. So the perspective here on Bitcoin on the higher term time frame right now is just simply range bound. With that in mind, I'm going to come back to Bitcoin towards the end of the video on the lower term timeframes, what's going on now and what we're looking at next. But while it's hot in our minds, I want to take a very quick look at the stock market here because of the importance of what we're talking about here with the swing failure pattern fake outs, right? You can see there, SFP of the low, big rise to the upside. SFP of the high, big drop to the downside. That's Bitcoin. Now let's take a look at the stock market. Very similar what went on here. So this was back on Friday, so not that long ago, but on Friday, we saw a fake out of the high, and I actually want to show you where this topped out at exactly. This is on a weekly perspective, but we had this really nice low, high, higher low, and we took a 1-to-1 extension of this. So we're looking for the extension of this wave down to the low here. And we had this 1-to-1 extension, as you can see, from low to high to low, a 1-to-1 extension where price actually did top out at. You can see the accuracy there of the 1-to-1. That's why I love it. But this was, of course, a little bit of a zone, nevertheless. And this even had a lower term time frame range at the high here. Lower term time frame range that went on with the fake out of that to give you the tap of that 1-to-1 before the drop. But anyway, where I'm going with this all happened from a simple, much like Bitcoin, right? Remember, Bitcoin had the range low SFP, big rise to the upside. Bitcoin went to the range high, formed a swing failure pattern at a range high. It pulled back. Remember exactly what I was showing you? Fake out, pull back. Stock market, biggest market in the world. All it done, fake out at a high, large pullback to the downside. And that's why I mean it. When people start saying, oh, the pullback's because of, DeepSeek, it's because of China, it's because of the AI, they're taking over the AI, the USA is behind. People start, fear mongering, the fear starts to take over. But where I'm going with this is that's the reason everybody's giving. But from a technical perspective, before we even knew about DeepSeek, I didn't know about DeepSeek on Friday, but I did know on Friday there was a swing failure pattern at a range high, which is a short trade setup. And then you go into this week and you see a massive crash to the downside, Sunday night going into Monday. All right, that's when the big crash occurred. But on Friday night, no one talked about DeepSeek, but we did talk about the swing failure pattern at a high. We did talk about the fake out of all-time highs, which is a very big technical reason to take a short trade, especially, of course, if you're a day trader of the stock market. That is a bread and butter setup. So, show me the chart, swing failure pattern at a high. I'll tell you the news. Well, there's probably going to be some bearish news that comes out because we've took all the liquidity from the highs. Just as when we come down to the lows, and we take out the lows, you probably got some bullish news going on here that helps people understand, okay, that's why we're rising. So I will always, always, always stand by that. Whenever a big move happens, I can guarantee I will show you a technical perspective prior, foreseeing what was going to happen, and then the news comes out. So yeah, stock market, we really simply faked out all-time highs onto the 1-to-1. We got that pullback. Bitcoin, we're simply range bound, forming lovely SFPs. I will end by looking at Bitcoin. And as I mentioned first, I will do a very quick talk of Trump coin first. This was a coin that I had a short from $69, the meme of all memes. And then I had a long from $32. I was holding both those positions simultaneously. I had a pretty epic short trade entry, 69. I waited for that to drop all the way down to $32 where I took a long. And the way this trade played out in the end, I still am in the short trade now, still in my short from $69. That long trade I am stopped out of now, but not before hitting take profit. And that was a big take profit that we had off of $47, just so you can see again, all given ahead of the time. I was telling my team we were, this was a rally from our entry at $32 to the target of around 50% rally. So very nice profits can be secured. But just to show you how we were, explaining, this is where the resistance will be on the daily. On the range point of control, there and around $47, we will be locking in major take profits on our long trade from 32. That way, okay, if we get the reclaim and rally, amazing. But if we reject there and come back down, profit secured, happy days. So from that, we did in fact top out at $47 zone, and we made our way all the way back down. So if I just zoom in a little bit here, you can see that daily, and again, this was from the 21st. On the 21st, that was the level of resistance that we were looking for. Even at this point, we're still looking for nearly 30% to the upside, right? We rallied into that level. We did hit our take profits, and that was the very high of the move, by the way, bringing you all the way down to new lows at $24. So, I just really wanted to emphasize there, Bitcoin, we're able to understand the lows and highs and trade them, make profits on it. Stock market, biggest market in the world, again, respecting technical analysis perfectly. Multi-trillion dollars in that market. And then when we look at meme coins, such as Trump coin, look at that. It respects technical analysis. We timed the low at $32 off the harmonic, took it up to the major take profit of $47. That's where the high was put in off of that point of control. Just look at the accuracy. Point of control tapped. It was massive move to the downside, retracing the whole move. So technical analysis is truly what you want to be focused on. It's how you make the profits. It's how you foresee and make these epic predictions. So with all that in mind, let's move over to Bitcoin, and I'll explain what we're looking at next. That will make you happy, right? So let's add on some nice levels that we have around here. One thing that I want to bring your attention to, of course, is FOMC tomorrow. I done a live stream actually this morning. So this was my thoughts. Done a Champions live stream yesterday. Then we were explaining the importance of the New York Open. And then today I've done 2 more live streams. So I done a live stream there, but this is the live stream I refer to. In this live stream, I was saying the importance of FOMC, which is tomorrow. And today is actually going to be a very slow day as people just wait for FOMC. Okay, people are just going to be waiting around for the FOMC. And, as kind of we thought would happen, it has been a very slow day. A little bit of a fake out. But overall, this is a very slow day. As you can see, daily open here, we're pretty much at daily open price. If I just show you this, you can actually see we are 0.03% away from the daily open. So a very slow day indeed. But that is to be expected the day prior to FOMC, where people are just now waiting for that news release. And this is the thing that I'm on about. We can take advantage of the knowledge that FOMC is a very volatile day. It always is. And this is where I mean that price will accelerate off of moves that have already been planned from the technical analysis. But at FOMC day, price is not moving because of the data. The data is actually irrelevant. But the data, that data release news drop will bring volatility, but volatility that was already planned, the reactions from already given levels. I hope you can comprehend where I'm going with that. So yeah, as traders, we will definitely take advantage of these big crucial news dates. We're not going to forget about them. We know it will bring volatility. So we know the day prior to it, it's probably going to be a slow day, and it is, which was to be expected. Because tomorrow, FOMC is the day we're looking forward to. And I'm actually looking for 2 big levels, either side that I'm going to be going for here. So above us, I'll show you where we're rejecting from locally. And again, I will always tell you there is never, ever a random pivot on the chart. So the last major high to low, we come into the CC here, lower the CC, and we rejected from that. So CC Fibonacci important as always, but this level is now tested and will be removed. We can move on to the bigger levels. And just so you can see where I'm getting to get that bigger level, we rejected from the local CC, last high to low on the 1 hour chart, into the CC. You can see for yourself the reaction off of that. We are now going to pull it from that last lower high up to the all-time high. And that gives us the CC right here at around let's call it $106,000. You can see that CC comes in around that daily naked point of control. So a very nice level of confluence indeed. We can also start to pull things such as our parallel channels, which is something that I enjoy. We have a parallel channel resistance and support to be aware of too. So we right now have this lovely downward sloping channel and the CC, which sits in the daily naked point of control above us. So this is a level where I've got my alert set, ready and waiting for the reaction for that trade, which of course would be a short. If we get the reclaim, then I never get my entry trigger. But I'm looking for the entry trigger for my short there. To the downside, we have a bigger range point of control, which is very important for myself. So I'll be looking at that for my next long. Already got my levels marked out because it is very important to know where the point of control is. So you can see here, point of control on this point of control. Of course, very low and higher are changing, but that point of control set in stone. So when we come down on the lower term time frame, bam, we can see very clearly that point of control. So that comes in at around $97,000, right? And so for me right now, I am waiting for that short off of around 105, 106,000, top of the CC. I'm waiting for that next long down towards 96.5 to 97 point of control, weekly naked point of control. This is a very, very difficult trade setup. Very difficult trade setup for the long, by the way. The short, much more simple. I truly believe that. Why? You know, the invalidation that will be given on the short is clear. Okay, the entry trigger is very easy. If we are to get a drop here and a long off of around 97k, I think that's a difficult trade, harder trade setup, harder entry trigger, most likely, less confluence. So you're going to have to be a little bit more patient on that for actual confirmation. Whereas the short, I think that should come or not, you know, very simple and easy. The long, a little bit more difficult. Why? Because you're in a position where, of course, the confirmation is lacking in terms of the confluence, but also if you do not get that support, well, you could wipe off another $10,000 very quick and very easily. A big, big, big drop to the downside. So that's kind of my perspective of where I'm waiting for next on Bitcoin for my next long and short trade opportunities. Again, I'm a trader. I don't care if we rise to $1 million per Bitcoin or drop to $1,000 per Bitcoin. It will not affect me in any way, shape or form. I will happily look for my shorts at resistance. I will happily look for my longs at support. I'm not here to tell you where the market's going next because I do not know. I do not know whether we pump tomorrow or we dump tomorrow. That is impossible to know. All I know is where my next high probability trade setup is, the entry trigger I will wait for at that level, and thus I will either take a high probability trade, it will win, I'll make my profits, or I take a high probability trade, it loses, I get out for a small loss because of my risk management, and I simply wait patiently for another trade setup to show itself. That is my method, that is what I use, and if you too follow along my teachings, well, you can become as successful as I have been with this trading. For me, it's an absolute joy to be here. I hope that you've really enjoyed it. You can see today we got on the Dubai 2024 cap. I hope you can just spend a few minutes. This is a 2-minute long video to watch our Chart Champions Dubai 5-year anniversary video where we got together so many champions, and I mean it. You get to spend time and learn from the world's greatest traders. On top of that, you can actually form connections with the community within Chart Champions, you know, and have friendships that are truly strong, formed lifetime friendships, you know, with like-minded people that are very switched on, educated, and have drive to move forwards and improve the life of themselves and their families from what you can learn from trading. So a great opportunity to connect and learn, of course, at the same time. So yeah, please watch our little video that we put together from the Dubai event. I really enjoyed this one. So yeah, make sure you, well, not make sure, but I'd love it if you could spend a few minutes to watch that video that we put together, and you can see a little glimpse of what it's like to attend Chart Champions events with us all. So yeah, thank you ever so much. I hope you've enjoyed this one, and I will just end by saying that if you want more, you know where to get it. chartchampions.com. So you get the live trading, so you get the updates inside of the Discord. Oh yeah, this is what I was going to mention. You know, the importance of the stock market when it comes to Bitcoin. We saw the very bullish stock market open yesterday, and of course Bitcoin rose throughout the day yesterday too. So that correlation, there's so much to teach, but I've only got enough time on YouTube. You know, there's only so much I can fit in, right? So anyway, there's more if you want it. chartchampions.com. Thank you ever so much. Hope you've enjoyed, and that's me signing out. Goodbye. Cheers.